Welcome to Save As Ability, a podcast to educate and inform you about disability employment issues. My name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Save As Ability. We continue to grow. We appreciate you. If you can continue to help us out, like, subscribe, comment, share, it does help the channel grow. We have a guest today, a great guest, Shellena Heber. Shellena, welcome in to Save As Ability.
Thank you so much, David. I'm so happy to be here with you today.
It's great to be with you. And Shellena and I were colleagues on National Industries for the Blind at one point. I know you had aged out, and you're the executive director of the Valley Center for the Blind out in California.
Yes.
So we're here to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in your world. And you know, we like to talk about disability employment, of which you're a champion for blind people in your area.
Oh, well, thank you. I certainly try to be. It's amazing how much work there is done across the country when it comes to helping people who are blind or low vision have equitable access to employment. But there's only so many folks who are doing that on my side of the world here in the West Coast. So I'm just really grateful to have a lot of amazing colleagues to rely on across the U.S. so that way we can hopefully build programs that bring a lot more jobs to people here.
Yeah. And, we've talked about this before. The nature of blindness is changing, right? The profile of the blind worker, if you will, air quotes, has changed over time. Maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the programs and services that you offer and provide access to opportunities for people out in your area.
Yeah, thank you. I think it helps have a little context for our organization because we're over 50 years old, but we spent our first 20 years as really a volunteer-driven senior social program. So when I came in, almost 10 years ago now, we really started to take a look at what programs is it that our community of people living with blindness or low vision wanted from us. There are not that many providers in our area. We're the only one in at least 5 counties in California, and really our reach extends a lot more depending on what services that we do. And so we really wanted to have our community give us that input on where should we go. And time again, people were really grateful for the independence training, grateful to learn how to use their smartphones, excited about being able to get to doctor's appointments. And so many of those folks said, gosh, it feels like the next natural step for me would be a job. But that just wasn't happening. And so really a lot of the development that we've had in the last decade has been around what is it that our community is asking for us, and what are we hearing from businesses are really major barriers in their perception of hiring our really qualified candidates for people with vision loss.
Yeah, that's so typical that we hear across all these nonprofit agencies that they're providing a wide range of services. And yeah, we want to get to employment, but if you can't do the other things in the community, like employment is like, well, wait a minute, I first need to be able to do navigation to get from point A to point B, and I got to be able to, do all of my other daily life activities. And then once that's mastered, then you can go into employment.
Yeah, and you kind of talked about like the future of work, and I believe that there's a wonderful place in our country for the Ability One program and a lot of those traditional product lines that create a lot of great jobs. For us being a newer player in this game, we are really looking at what is it that our community wants to do. And so broadly, the employment we've made isn't just the things like how do you get to work and how do you show up to work on time and how do you make sure you have that ride home and you prepared your lunch for when you get your break. But we actually look a lot now at training folks in soft skills, because vastly where our workforce wants to go is in those better tech-based jobs. So we've created a lot of positions within the realm of like customer service and community health work, and doing 508 compliance testing, helping, businesses make their websites and their materials digitally accessible. And in that process, we found that, it takes that extra level of training and care to help someone go from maybe never having a job or not having a job in 20 years to being ready to provide excellent level customer service all day. So it's been a really fun journey.
You said it, Shellena. So we worked on that Future of Work report with the Council of State Governments. I think it was like 5 or 7 years ago now. And not only is the future now, I think we've passed some of what we have written in that report because really technology keeps advancing so quickly. And I think people with disabilities and agencies are doing a good job adapting to that. And you're an excellent example of that. Maybe you can give our audience so a little bit of your background and how you got into this, because so many people ask and they've comments like, we want to hear more about the people. So tell us a little bit about Shellena.
Well, all right. Thank you. I come from a small business background. My family for generations has predominantly been in agriculture. And I was the first person in my family to go away to a 4-year university and had a little bit of experience working at the local level with supporting one of our state assemblymen at the time. And got an undergrad experience in political science, and then went and had a lot of really interesting experiences. So got to run some small businesses, got to work with some nonprofits, did a little bit of government work. And over that 13-year period of change and exploration, really found a passion for doing community building work and helping people and organizations that really needed like a strategic direction and future. So happened to be in Fresno, California for a few years, and went on some interviews and just immediately became so engaged in what Valley Center for the Blind wanted to do. It's a little tiny organization at the time, only a few employees. And, over this 10 years, we've gone from, only 2 part-time folks to now we're a team of well over 50. And they had, a couple of programs, and now we have over 25 programs. And it's really been so fun to build something. And along the way, I've met so many amazing people like yourself, David, who this is such a wonderful industry with people who really, really care. And it's so motivating to get to wake up every day and be a part of this mission.
Well, the thing that I like the most is you clearly have talents and abilities that you could be working in any sector, any industry, like anywhere, and, not being blind, but yet still kind of sticking with the blind people. Like that to me is admirable. And I appreciate that, like getting outside influences, because so oftentimes, and I love our colleagues, by the way, who are blind and run blind agencies. And that's
Yes,
great. That lived perspective is important,
of
but it's
course.
also nice to be able to have that diversity across and, private sector people who could, again, be anywhere doing it. So what do you think are some things that you have brought in from that private sector to be able to use to the benefit of your organization?
I think a lot of people really think of nonprofits as like this, as a charity, right? Always looking for a handout, always looking for the next dollar so they can make payroll. And I really see Valley Center for the Blind as so much more than that, right? Most of at least our company's revenue, we've been able to develop this earned revenue model where, yes, fundraising is so important, and it does things like we're working on right now, starting our first ever youth programs. And there isn't funding readily available to start up that sort of thing. So we need the community investment in what we do. But I think what I've been able to bring from all of my lived experiences along the way is taking this and looking at it as a business, and how do we create sustainability and diversity in our revenue? Because I want this organization to exist for absolutely as long as it is needed. And the second that it is no longer needed, then we'll find a new cause to champion. But I think it's been really amazing to help develop strategic plans and, raise pay equity and really make this something we can be so proud of.
Yeah, I love your message. Hand up, not hand out, because that really brings the dignity in work. So tell us a little bit about your product lines and services and, get it out there so people, if they want to be able to contract with your organization, they can do that.
Thank you. Really, what it is that Valley Center for the Blind has specialized in is creating very high level customer service positions. So we do virtual. We have some folks on site. We place some people even within businesses, but we help make it feel for your customers as a business like those that you are subcontracting with through Valley Center for the Blind or your employees. We take a wide variety of calls from all over the country, and widely our callers are really so impressed with the level of sophistication and professionalism that our customer service representatives can provide. And it's really comforting to the clients to know that We have not only excellent level customer service and quality assurance, but we also have built this wonderful security infrastructure around what we do. You're constantly hearing about the things getting hacked and information getting stolen. And at Valley Center for the Blind, the systems that we're working on, we've made sure are very high level in terms of safety for you and your customers. I'll also say that document digitization, like this is the wave of the future, right? We're not going to have paper files sitting in warehouses anymore. And so we're really excited to help companies get that project done, get rid of that extra space, and let's digitize the information that you need and make sure that it's accessible. So if you do have someone who's blind on site who may need as a part of their job to access those records, well, now they'll be able to because those things are digitized. We have a lot of custom solutions for businesses, and really we just want to find meaningful partners who are excited about the mission, but really looking for great assistance at a market competitive rate.
At the end of the day, you've got great services to provide and bring to bear for the business community. So make sure you send us the link. We'll put that in the description so that companies and businesses who are interested can get in touch with your organization. All right, as we conclude here, let's wrap up and tell us really what's new, what's going on in your world in the future that people need to be aware of here at Save Visibility.
I think the biggest thing is just to know that, like you mentioned earlier, David, technology is changing the landscape for what it means to be blind in this world. And we have so many amazing candidates who are actively looking for a great place to land. They want to be loyal to your company. They want to be a viable part of your workforce. And with the changes in technology, we can. And the younger that we go and we help people, even from the time that they're children, begin to explore and see a future for themselves, where there are companies out there that will hire them, we really think that we can really move the needle on unemployment for people who are blind across this country.
Well, you're doing it. You're moving the needle. And when it's done well, the organization succeeds, the business succeeds. Most importantly, the individual with blindness or a disability succeeds. So it's a win-win-win. You're a champion, Shellena. We thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, David. This is always a pleasure getting to speak with you, and I really appreciate you having me on today.
Well, thanks so much. It's great to have you. And for everybody else, again, continue to help us. Please grow our channel. Like, subscribe, comment, share. It does help us grow. It's David Darkangelo, another episode of Save Visibility, and I hope you have a great day.
For more information about disability employment issues, please visit our website, disabilityemploymentsolutions.com. The Save As Ability podcast is available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, our YouTube channel at Disability Policy Expert, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment. Save As Ability lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #TheNewRadio. Again, my name is David Darkangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Until next time, thank you. I hope you have a great day.